This portion of the John Fredericks Show is brought to you by Hargrave Military Academy. Attend an educational and informative open house event at Hargrave Military Academy in Chatham, Virginia. For more information, visit online at hargrave.edu. Hargrave Military Academy. Build his future.
Major Bill Wiebking, he is from Hargrave Military Academy, one of our sponsors here on the John Fredericks Show. And I love to get the Major on because there's so many things that go on with a young man in a family, and you got to try to figure out what is the things that are happening to my young man where checking out a school like Hargrave Military Academy might really make a lot of sense. And so, Major, if I've got a teenager, if I've got a son, like I've got a 9-year-old now, what are some of the things going on, some of the signs where I might want to take a look at Hargrave Military Academy if I think maybe I gotta put my son in a different environment?
Well, here's the strange thing, John, and it's a problem I think a lot of schools are facing, not just Hargrave Military Academy. There is a very big generational shift with the current generation and our generations, and they don't see things the same way. I was reading an article the other day about how 20-somethings and teenagers don't view the automobile as the same rite of passage as maybe we did. The 30-somethings and the 40-somethings as a means of freedom. They look at social media as a means of freedom. They look at other types of things, and then differently than we did. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I mean that's where they are, and they're not even approaching work and career the same way as previous generations. So there's this very different worldview coming up with the students. However, while they might be doing bringing some new things on board with their generation, there's some things that they still need to do, and certainly one of them is get good grades in school. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a constant. And so if you have a young man who's 9, or like my son who's now 7, mm-hmm. And we're looking at a young man who's maybe not focused on their education, they're not focused on being a better person. Mm-hmm. A military school is a time-proven way of getting a young man's focus back and getting him focused on those things that matter, as opposed to those things that he thinks matter. We had a summer school and camp. We just ended it on the 28th.
Right.
And a lot of the parents, that I heard this summer, what I heard was, wow, this is, the stuff they used to teach, which I took as a compliment.
Right.
Maybe we're a throwback. I don't think we are, but I think we're a very progressive school in terms of technology and a lot of things that we do in the classroom. But a lot of the foundational things like structure, self-discipline, mm-hmm. Motivating a young man to do better, mm-hmm. Those types of things as a school we've always done, and we do very well. And I think that for any school, that's something that needs to be on the table when you're looking at your students.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if it's a matter of grades are suffering, the focus is not there, you might have some other developmental issues. I mean, checking out Hargrave Military Academy, I'm going to tell everybody it is absolutely a great investment of time. Even if, you don't make a decision right now, it's in Chatham, Virginia. It's a beautiful drive out there from almost anywhere in Virginia, centrally located. It's an experience that you want to check out just so you know what the options are, so you know what the environment is if you feel you need to make a change. Because I can tell you I've got 3 kids. One of them is 9. The other 2 are, in college. But, getting, as a parent, getting us to move away from a traditional educational format is not easy to do, because
I would say that you're moving to a more traditional format at Hargrave.
Right.
The rapping knuckles, that you heard about 50 years ago
Right.
from Catholic nuns who were teaching. We don't do that at Hargrave, but it's something along that line and that spirit where we work very hard to make sure our students toe the line and stay on top of their stuff. And it is not, a basket of roses, when you're working with some of these young men. Sometimes it's, they're thick-headed.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, and we're males, and they won't necessarily, conform to what they should be doing right away. And when I say conform, it sounds like a bad thing, but it's, you want them to study. You want them to keep their room cleaned. I don't know too many parents that wants their kids and they want to live in a house of filth. So, on barracks, they keep their room straight and orderly, or they're expected to. They're expected to get their homework assignments done. And we have study hall monitors that stay on top of them. We have TAC officers that stay on top of the cleanliness in the room and the order on barracks. So there's a lot of not parents. There's a lot of adults, faculty, and staff that are involved in the process, and it is a process, and that's where Hargrave approaches education.
And the other thing is, Major Wiebking, is that it instills a sense of organization and discipline. And I can tell you that self-discipline is going to serve you as a man throughout every facet of life. If you look at the most successful people, and you can define success in any way, happy, good marriage, good father, whatever, there's a certain element of discipline that goes into their character. And often in today's society, there's just a lot of undisciplined things out there. Like, my own child, it's like, just trying to get him to go to bed at a certain time is a battle every night during the semester. He just loves to stay up. So it's just instilling that discipline that, 9 o'clock or 8:30, whatever the time is, lights out, time for bed. It's just a matter of self-discipline, not easy to do. But I want to tell everybody to really check this out. Saturday, August 10th at 12:30 p.m. There's an open house. There's no obligation. You can check it out. Call 800-434-2480, 800-434-2480, or just go to hargrave.edu. That's hargrave.edu. It's so much worth the time and effort. And
I think people will learn stuff. And John, I'll actually be at that open house, and I'm very excited. My schedule doesn't always permit me to be at the open house, but this one I'm, the moon and the sun is aligned, so I can get there, and I'm looking forward to participating. So, if your listeners come, let me know that you heard us on John Fredericks Show. That would be wonderful. And I'm looking to talk with anything. I will talk about Hargrave. I'm a big Hargrave supporter. I will talk about Hargrave till you've had enough. You'll have to say, "Okay, Major Wiebking, I'm full." But I'm looking forward to it. I hope everyone can consider coming and think about, if you're not looking at fall 2013, maybe you're looking at second semester. Maybe your son has promised you the world, and you're getting a little bit skeptical right now that it's going to be the same old when he starts back in the fall. Now's the time to make a decision and avert another year of what you've previously dealt with, and possibly change the game on your son.
I think there's no doubt, and it's in Chatham, Virginia. Check him out. It's just a worthwhile experience, even if you're not sure right now and you just want to get more information, get a feel of it. Could be very helpful in the future. Hargrave Military Academy. Just go to hargrave.edu. That's hargrave.edu, or give them a call today. You can ask for Major Bill Wiebking. He's on with us right now. 800-434-2480, 800-434-2480. And hey, I just want to give one final shout out. If you have a young man and they want to play football, they got a great football program. They're 800-434-2480. Major, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. The pleasure is mine.